All right, a pretty big news day here. We don't have the team that Roki Sasaki is signing with, but there have been some developments. There are finalists in this race, and it's the Padres, it's the Dodgers, and it's the Blue Jays. There's other information that I'll get into, but basically today there was a bunch of teams that were informed, or at least it was leaked today, that they are no longer going to be in this race. The Yankees are one of them, the Giants are one of them, the Mets are not expected to be landing Roki Sasaki. And this was all before Jeff Passan put out this tweet about who the finalists are. The D-backs reported that it will not be them. The Rangers, Evan Grant reports that it will not be the Rangers. Roki Sasaki has informed them he will be signing elsewhere. Now, I don't know if that was Roki, literally to them, or that was Roki's agent, Joe Wolf, but doesn't matter. Roki is not going to those teams. The Cubs, another one that are out. So then Passan later in the afternoon tweets out the finalists for Japanese star right-hander Roki Sasaki are the Dodgers, Padres, and Blue Jays, sources tell ESPN. Sasaki will decide on his team by the closing of his posting window, January 23rd. January 15th is when the bonus pool money resets. That is when teams can start making trades in $250,000 increments to increase their bonus pool money. So you could see teams making deals and make like 4 trades to clear up another $1 million a room, let's say. And then Sasaki, maybe he doesn't sign until, that last day possible, or the day before the last day possible, so that he can get more of that bonus pool money. Now, what also is happening, which was reported earlier in the morning before we learned that all these teams were out, we learned that the Padres have informed, this is via Dennis Lin, the Padres have informed some players who were expected to be part of their upcoming signing class for the 2025 signing class that they could seek other deals or potentially wait to sign until 2026. So it seems like they're like, yeah, we're going to pick Roki Sasaki, obviously, over you, who is like 17 years old or however old these guys are going to be. And we're going to put all of our money into this Sasaki boat. We're picking him over you. That doesn't mean we don't like you. Sure, go ahead and sign in 2026 if you want to still be with the Padres, if you still want to, get the millions of dollars maybe, or hundreds of thousands of dollars that we would be offering you. But just being honest, go ahead. If you want to sign this year, go sign somewhere else. And to me, that's the Padres feeling pretty darn good about their chances to sign Roki Sasaki. Now, I believe the Dodgers have done the same thing. Don't know about the Blue Jays, but I assume they are doing that sort of thing as well. And hopefully they're being transparent to those guys that they have handshake agreements with, because that's the right thing to do if you're going to change your mind. Don't let those guys hang out to dry. But this is good news, obviously. And I was expecting this. I was expecting the Padres to stay in this race. I was expecting them to be a finalist, just like I was expecting the Dodgers to be a finalist. So that is not really news to me. It's just news because Passan tweeted it out, and it's like official that they are finalists. Now, the Blue Jays entering this mix is interesting. The Toronto team. Now, Roki, if he doesn't want to have as much pressure on him, then you pick the Padres or the Blue Jays. You don't pick the Dodgers, right? I mean, I guess some people would say, well, he wouldn't have as much pressure on him with the Dodgers because of how many arms they have. And that's fair as well. Maybe I should reword that better. As much of a spotlight on you. Maybe that's more accurate to say. Pick the Blue Jays or pick the Padres. Now, the Blue Jays, the one team in Canada, it's the Blue Jays in Major League Baseball. And the Padres, there's still going to be a spotlight on you in San Diego. But I think just nationally, and maybe even the Japanese media, more of the attention is going to be on the Dodgers because they have Shohei Ohtani. They have Yamamoto, who I think is bigger right now than Sasaki is in Japan. But it seems like Sasaki's pretty darn popular in Japan. So he could pass Yamamoto, I guess, at some point. And we also got news, or there was a video that has been put out on social media. Credit to Jim Russell, friend of the show, who tweeted this video out, but he was not filming the video. He found it off of Reddit. Slam Bambarino is the guy's name. It's Roki Sasaki. Go look it up. Just look up my Talking Friars Twitter account and scroll down and you'll see the video. It is Roki Sasaki throwing at Petco Park, I believe this past weekend, And it's someone that I think lives in one of the apartments way up high filming this, and he is throwing, it looks like in the right field corner, right field, right by the warning track. And who is he throwing to? Ethan Salas, who is all standing there watching. It looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, at least 10 people there, more than 10 people watching this bullpen. I assume Preller's there. I think I see Joe Musgrove there, but that's just me a little bit guessing and knowing what Joe Musgrove sometimes wears. I'm guessing that's Joe Musgrove, who is a little bit behind Ethan Salas watching this bullpen. There's someone behind Roki Sasaki as well. It looks like there's a black stage of some kind because I think the rodeo is happening at Petco Park right now. But yeah, Roki, he's wearing Padre stuff, by the way. Yellow shorts, brown shirt. He's got, I think, a Padre hat on. So yeah, has he done this in Toronto? Has he done this in LA? He may have, but this is a really good sign that you've got Padres players following him on Instagram. You've got him throwing a bullpen, flat ground at least, at Petco Park. He's clearly thinking about joining the Padres. The Padres, by the way, I think it's worth mentioning, they have more international bonus pool money than the Dodgers do, at least as of now. The Dodgers have, I think, over 5 mil. The Padres should have over 6 once January 15th hits. And if you're the Padres, you want to use that to your advantage. And so it's totally understandable why they're going to tell the handshake agreements that they have for the international money or the international pool for 2025. Hey, we'll still have you for 2026, but you got to understand that we have a guy that is really talented who can help us right now at the big league level. He's going to be our priority. Could the Padres lose some of those guys to, I think there was one guy that signed with the Pirates recently that was supposed to sign with another team that may be saving up there. I think he was supposed to sign with the Dodgers, but then sign with the Pirates. I was reading that in The Athletic this morning. Could the Padres have that happen to them? Sure. But are any of those guys able to help this Padres rotation right now? Are any of those guys looked at as the best Japanese pitcher available, on the market? No. So obviously they're going to be going in here all in on Roki Sasaki. Obviously, adding Roki Sasaki will be huge because the Padres are hamstrung financially and the talent that he could end up being. He's not a finished product. The Padres, I don't care what the comments are going to say, Dodger fans that want to hate on this, but the Padres have been able to develop some pitchers under Ruben Niebla. And I hope that Roki has taken a nice look at that. I hope that the Padres have sold him. It seems like they have sold him well on what they could do for Roki and his development because, again, like he's not the finished product. I don't want people to think that he is already a finished product. But yeah, it's exciting for sure. The Blue Jays, that's interesting. If you're Roki, to me, that feels like a Ohtani signing with the Angels type of thing. The Angels, while adding Ohtani and they had Mike Trout, like there were some interesting pieces there, but they were never going to be a World Series. They were never thought of as a World Series contender. If Sasaki signs with the Blue Jays, they're not a World Series contender still, in my opinion. I mean, Vlad and Bichette could be gone after this year. They're just not. Dodgers and the Padres, obviously the Dodgers, they're already that. And the Padres, if they add Sasaki, we'll see what else they do, around the diamond in the lineup, pitching as well still. Donovan Solano, by the way, he signed with the Mariners for, I think, $3.5 million. So that sucks. That was a potential target, I thought, if they were going to trade Luis Ariz, for example. Or just, having a DH guy, an option off the bench. But they're not even going to be able to, they're not doing that. They're not spending until Roki happens. He makes his decision, is what it seems like here. Because it's January 13th. He's going to make his decision here pretty soon. You've waited this long. Why would you spend now? That's how I look at it. But yeah, Padres, Dodgers, I think those two, and this, I don't know any inside information, but those two, I think, are definitely the favorites here with the Blue Jays as a finalist. And I think they're going to finish third place. And it's going to come down to the Dodgers and the Padres. I can look at the Dodgers and say, sure, they have a lot of talented pitchers, and that's a World Series contender. And it seems like, yeah, they are able to get a lot out of some of these no-name guys that, especially in the bullpen. And they're not no-name guys to Dodger fans, obviously, but no-name guys for people that don't watch every Dodger game. They're able to get a lot out of these guys, and Sasaki can see that. But there's also a lot of injuries that happen with that Dodgers team. Let's be honest. A lot of injuries. There's not as many injuries with the Padres. And I know you'll say, well, Joe Musgrove's having Tommy John, Ben. Yeah, but go look at how many Dodger pitchers have Tommy John and how many guys have to miss significant time over there. So maybe that's something that can be in the Padres' favor. All right, before getting out of here with this video, I did want to mention something that I saw in Kevin Acey's piece in the San Diego Union Tribune. He starts it off by saying, it's getting close to announcement time for Roki Sasaki, and the chances the Padres will have him in their rotation in 2025 appear as strong as ever. The Japanese pitching star met with the Padres in San Diego last week. Athletic was first to report Sasaki was in San Diego over the weekend. Cubs, Giants, Rangers, Yankees have been told they're no longer in the running for Sasaki, and the Mets do not expect to sign him. Many people around the league opined last week that questions about the team's ownership would harm the Padres' chances to land Sasaki. And there were a lot of people in the comments that agreed with that as well. Then Kevin writes, but chatter among MLB teams personnel people increasingly names the Padres as the favorite to land the pitcher, who posted a 2.02 ERA in 414 and 2/3 innings over 4 seasons in Japan. Sasaki can sign as soon as Wednesday, first day of the new international free agent signing period. He has to sign by January 23rd when his 45-day posting period expires. So I get people that disagreed with my opinion that this whole Shield Seidler, Matt Seidler, Seidler family lawsuit thing, I thought that it shouldn't have that much of an impact on Roki Sasaki. It should be more the people that are in the building, the facilities. How can you develop with this Padres team more than what's happening with ownership and lawsuits? Some disagreed with that. And I understand why. But hopefully Sasaki's on my side here and is like, yeah, I'm not too interested in that. Of course, you don't want that to happen, but the Padres are a spot where I feel like I'm going to be comfortable. I can develop. I have Yu Darvish, my mentor. There's still great facilities. Living in San Diego is going to be great. I'm on a contending team still. I'm not in the shadow of Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Maybe I don't have as much of a spotlight on me, because there's going to be more attention on the Dodgers than the Padres. And that's what he ends up doing. Many people around the league, I don't really care what they think. I'm still holding that opinion because Sasaki, I care what he thinks. It's a mystery. He's a mystery still, I think, a little bit. It seems like he likes to be private. He's not like this huge personality. And so maybe these league people that Kevin is talking to, and this is no disrespect to Kevin, let me be clear. It's just, I don't know who he's talking to. Is he talking to people that have met with Roki Sasaki and they know what he wants and the Padres align with that? And that's why they're saying this? Or are they just like, well, the Padres, more international bonus pool money. They've got room in Niebla, West Coast, contender. Roki doesn't want to be on the Dodger. Are they linking it that way? So, yeah, that's what I've got. The Padres, like many teams, have spent much time scouting Sasaki. Kevin writes here. The Blue Jays reportedly met with Sasaki last week in Toronto. The Dodgers have also long been considered a favorite to land Sasaki. His meeting, by the way, and Kevin confirms this, I assume this, his meeting last week with the Padres at Petco, where it seems like he threw that flat ground, it was his second meeting with Padres officials. Their first meeting was in LA at Joe Wolf's, I think, headquarters, Roki's agent. So when Passan's saying the Padres are a finalist, and yes, it's with the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, but that's got to be great news until it isn't, until he signs with the Dodgers, and then it'll be terrible. But keeping my fingers crossed.